Hello, fair listener. Welcome and thank you for following our journey on metagaming by Rum Propelled Gaming. Fair warning, sometimes we are not safe for work, and others not safe for real life. Journey forth at your own risk. Now let's dive right back into Tarath. Through the campaign Alilopolis.
Yeah, fuck
Craig.
you. Hitherto, the adventurers known as the Rum Rollers entered the city of sORCrates. Sun blazing, orange to the west, and the green of Yggdrasil peeking over the east horizon, and the gates leading to the bridge over the wall into sORCrates, with the shimmering blue walls to the south. Shia's namesake helped them enter those gates with her blue scales and over to the Bridge of Admonishment, along with Kat's stunt before getting kicked off the top of the tower. After the kerfluffle at the gate, the Rum Rollers traversed the Bridge of Admonishment over the wall into the entry plaza of sORCrates. Briefly exploring the plaza, the Rum Rollers decided to head to the market. And, little summary of what happened in the market. The sun's rising up to midday as the Rum Rollers rounded the bend of the Blue Ring district. Wisteria, Hamilton, and Nep, Mime, and Kat overheard some guards in a civil dispute about herpes. All but Kat hurrying on noticed the first pops of color over the cliffs, denoting the market. Climbing the bridge into the market, Nep overheard some musicians jamming and decided to join in, snapping one of his lute strings in the process. Hurrying away in shame, he noticed the plate of protection buzzing away in his belongings. Hurriedly pulling out the plate and spinning it up, it fell from his fingertips and over the cliffs, opening up a portal near the fountain and the distractedly arguing guards. Entering the portal onto the deck of Adune, Nep found the disturbance to be related to the arrival of 4 new companions, the Rarlson brothers, Rarl, Grarl, Jarl, and Jeffrey the Magnificent. After confusing introductions, Nep returned to the market and handed Mime the plate and proceeded with his own confusing introductions of the Ralston brothers, whereupon Nep retired to Adune, promising the Ralstons to strike up a band against the 2 bards at the end of the market to redeem his honor. Then Mime, Kat, and the Ralston brothers proceeded to find wares that caught their eye and haggle for them. Oh, Nep retired onto Adune with Wisteria and Hamilton. That's where that other note was. I forgot about that. Let's Wisteria.
The what brothers? I'm so confused.
We have a set of brothers shopping with us right now.
Let's find out what happens this time.
Like, there's like NPCs.
So, basically the way that he's flavored it, and I'm sad to say that he couldn't make the session to explain it himself because it's fairly entertaining, is that one of his classes that he's starting off with allows him to have like an NPC basically that follows him around as a bit of a squire and holds tools for him, being that he is a bard in his actual profession. The squired ones can't really do anything in combat or anything like that from a mechanic standpoint, but they can be used to interact. Interact with different things and strike up a band if need be. But otherwise, he's kind of like a one singular unit.
So he's basically playing 4 separate characters?
Yeah, more or less, but all the other ones are even hard to tell apart from the original ones. That's one of the things that they were finding last time.
Interesting. Well, that should be fun.
Right. And yeah, if you wanted to hear an introduction of himself, you can listen to that last episode from this, I guess. Otherwise, that's summary of that because they're just going to be staring dead-eyed out into the distance this episode. And
Way off in the background.
yeah, that's where you guys pretty much left off. There's always more details than what I gathered in a short minute or two recap for you, but gets you the main points. Oh, it does look like
Are we
I
still under contract from some sort of demon?
yes.
Damn. I love that's a fact that that's a sentence I can just say. Are we still under contract of a demon?
Yep.
It looks like I did leave Hamilton out, so I guess he didn't move into the ship when Wisteria and Nep went back onto it. I don't know if that's where you're actually standing, though, Hamilton, or...
I've actually been
If you
looking
would-
for myself, and I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Myself.
There
I
you are.
only see a black screen.
Just abandoned you by that nice fountain.
Yeah, less of a fountain, more of a giant porta potty, I think we determined.
Oh, okay.
What's the difference?
This one, if it shoots out water, you're running away rather than running into it. For-
Um, is there any armor shops in this bazaar?
There is, and you just seen your companions kind of wandering south along the path after Mime had been doing some bargaining with a and walked away with a new weapon. It looked like from a red tent to your right down the path.
I would like to go to the armor shop. Wink.
Take me to the armor shop. Boop boop boop.
Oh, wait, no, you said that was the weapon shop there.
As you're standing at it, you see that the individual, as you're walking by the other ones too, the others so far have not had any sort of metalworking, but he seems to deal in weapons and armor. And what you see before you, standing behind his tables, is a large loxodon or elephant type individual.
I want to roll
And-
perception
Okay.
to see if I notice anything eye-catching.
Sure.
And like the armor I'm looking for isn't metal because I don't want to affect my stealth.
Right.
But dude,
25. So your thoughts are, skimming along, and you're only glancing at the table as you're walking by, trying to not make too much direct eye contact, so that they don't think that you're interested. But your eye does catch on a particular piece. Although metal, you are familiar with its workings only in hearsay of a mithril set.
oh,
And you know from experience that said armor does not have any of the disadvantages of normal metal in its ability to... Yeah, it basically just doesn't have any stealth disadvantage.
good evening, sir. I can't help but to notice
Ooh!
beautiful set of mithril armor you have there.
Well, hello yourself. Yes, you have a keen eye to have noticed such a thing.
Could I be so bold as to ask to try it on?
He eyes you up and down, looks at the pieces, and goes, "You know, you might just fit." But yes, you may. And he lifts up the pile of armor, being a full set. In his
Shimmy my
arms.
way up into it.
And it seems to fit quite nicely. It's a little snug on the shoulders and a little loose around the hips, but you feels otherwise pretty nice. Like it would totally work as is.
This
Yeah.
feels amazing. Are
Yes,
you the craftsman of this?
Unfortunately, I can't claim that honor, but you do look damn fine there, sir. Damn fine indeed.
1 second. Is Mithril elf made or is it Dwarven?
Generally, the dwarves would make it, but the elves would request it, specifically because of its lighter nature as well, being not so heavy, but still having the same qualities of, say, a really nice set of metal armor.
Jess just pointed something out to me.
Yeah.
So, I told you about how Flint went on like a kill spree, found Hamilton's father, and killed him, right? In Mithril, I didn't put this together, Jess just did, and it makes all kinds of sense. And if Mithril is like so common with the Elvens, since this guy didn't make this armor, is there any chance that Hamilton would recognize this armor from his village?
Roll me a history check. As you're looking it over on you and checking out all the little fixings, you do especially notice some of the linking pieces, so the leather portion of the armor that's holding the plates together. You're familiar yourself on a first name basis with the craftsman. You're quite sure that had done this because you recognize his stitching in it.
I'm trying to
And
think of a name for the craftsman.
sure.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm open to suggestions.
Drawing upon your theme, you could probably go with something simple and straightforward, like Harrison.
So I'm looking at this armor, trying it on, getting the feels for it. I notice the metalworking on the belt that you said and the clasps.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the shopkeep, so do you have any idea who did make this?
To be completely honest with you, little one, I could not say with any real certainty other than it is of a village of elves it was from.
I don't think I ever named my village. I'm horrible at backstories. God damn, I didn't think I was that bad.
You could start utilizing the beautiful things that we have now of AIs.
Yeah.
There's ones that will come up with entire backstories for you if you so wish. If I find one, I'll make sure to forward it your way. Actually, I do know of a couple offhand. Don John, for instance, does a lot of.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Would this happen to be from the village of Donjon?
Oh, sure,
I like the way that one sounds.
sure. Well, you've caught me up a bit off guard. I've just so done great business just with another just moments ago. That the name is really failing me currently of where this village is from, or where it hails from.
Because this seems very familiar. I'm not trying to let. I'm not letting on that I know who made the armor.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, considering my good fortune currently, and you taken to the armor so much, I think I could strike a pretty good bargain for you.
I'm gonna take the chest piece off. I'm gonna set it on the table. I'm gonna look on the inside of the chest plate
Mm-hmm.
and look for an insignia of like my family's royal high elf insignia.
You do notice the Hamilton crest in the back of it.
I'm gonna be Hamilton's taken back a second and just almost as if he just seen a ghost looking at this plate. And I look up at the shopkeep and I hold out my arm and I turn my arm over and I pull back my bracer to show the same insignia tattooed on my arm.
Oh, looks like it's a wonderful fate that has brought you to this armor. Provides the
Like,
Loxodon for you.
I need to know where you got this armor.
I don't know if I can be completely honest on that note, if I'm being honest. He kind of says under his breath.
This armor is from nowhere near this area.
That I could be sure of. That I can say that I've had some dealings with the law enforcement and pirates alike, he says, holding his breath even lower. And we'll say this one came from the pirates, but, gotta keep my businesses straight.
I understand. And you can see like Hamilton's mind just racing and thinking and a slight panic. And it's like, there's no way. There's no way. They can't be. He's dead.
And
He's
above the overtone of it, he's saying, to kind of seeing your anxiety to it, he says, just for the pure simplicity of the matter, I could knock this price down to an even 200 for you. Gold, that for a full set of armor is unheard of in these parts. And he says, also to buy your silence under his breath.
I'll nervously, like, still in like shock of looking at this armor, just shake my head and not say a word. And I'll put the coins on the table.
And as you're putting the coins on the table, he sticks out one of his limbs that ends in not fingered appendages, as in a shaking gesture, though.
But it would appear that I am a tad short. I only have 170.
Did you add all of the reward from the chest when Fodar showed up?
No, I don't have any of that on here.
Yeah, let me just go over to, because I know Mime, for instance, had a decent chunk, and I was just trying to go over to some others. Or were you holding it all, Mime, and did you just spend it all on your armor? Greetings, by the way. You're muted if you're...
Oh, yeah. A decent chunk of what?
The reward from Gargant.
No, we split that.
That's what I remembered too. I was just trying to go back into some other...
Because if not, if you left me to hold
Yeah.
it, I just spent all of it on the sweet armor. So I was under the understanding that we had split that already.
That's what I was thinking too, because it was like 10,000 plus gold or so, and I was just going back in other people's inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you guys had split it up that into that, and it I'm blanking offhand, but you would have had easily 1,000 plus that 100 in your inventory.
Yeah. I had over 1,000, and I don't think I had any gold before. And if I did, it was like minuscule.
So, just say 1,000 in addition to what you have for now, and you can go back and confirm, unless you want to start making an accounting skill too.
We could just go with 1,000. That sounds good.
Okay.
And I'll take 200 out of it for this armor.
Yeah.
100, jeez.
And
Yeah. And do you shake his hand?
I shake his hand, like, thank you.
Do you shake a poor sinner's hand?
And as you go to grab kind of the side of the... I need to really figure out what that's called on an elephant. But the hand portion... It's not a hoof. I know it's not a hoof. But you grab it. Yeah, you grab it and you shake it, and you feel a slight tingling wrap from your hand all the way around and up your wrist to your elbow, as he says, "You know, a deal well struck." And he says again under his breath while scraping the gold into a pouch of his, "Just keep it between me and you, where it came from."
I'm sure we'll be back to do more business. Thank you, sir.
Certainly.
I'll put the armor back on, and still just completely shocked and stunned at what I'm wearing. Slowly just start walking away.
And as you're rounding the bend in the path around one of the glowing flowers, you see a group of what looks like 4 6-foot tall cat humanoids.
Oh.
And a mime between their legs. You know, you glance, and a cat jumping back and forth too, and as well as one of the cats purring loudly as they hold what looks like a pillow the size of them vibrating in their arms.
A pillow with special attachment.
I don't think you can see the attachment from that angle. That's why I hadn't mentioned that yet.
Oh, I figured it'd be freaking obvious.
No, I figured it was pointing towards Cat and Mime in this particular instance.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, you missed that fun shopping spree.
Yeah, I guess.
I did want to mention that all of them. They bought all of them. We have a warehouse to go visit.
When did you guys get money?
At the tree.
Yeah. I did want to mention that Kat is also keeping an eye out for any kind of stone or metal that seems to have like white pearlescent veins in it.
Okay.
So
And
that's that stuff he's been questing for.
right. I was going to say too at this point in time, Mime, if you could roll me a perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
You ask so much of us, DM. I'm just kidding. I can get you a perception. Ooh, I can get you a good perception.
That's good because you feel a rolling of the plate in your backpack after it's just been put in there not long ago.
Backpack. Backpack. Okay. So if I'm feeling it move around, I'm gonna take my backpack off and pull it as quickly as I can.
And you don't notice anything out of the ordinary with the plate in particular, that it's not glowing and it's not vibrating or anything like that. It just seemed to have a little bit more life to it. And it was rolling a little bit more on its own. And I don't... George, do you actually know how to... Because you're on a dune, is where I was going with this. Let me see.
Plate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you seen the plate activate
we could store
yet?
all the pillows on a dune.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone spin it. I think that's how it worked.
Yes. I was just going over there right now because I was trying to remember. Yeah, you were in your room last. Let me see.
wish I
Get this over here. I brought it over here and I can bring your camera there now. Can you see?
No. Am I like blinded or something?
So I'm checking now. Oh, I gotta go to this layer. How about now?
Nope.
Did you use... How about now?
Yep, there we go.
Okay. So you're in your room waking up and you'd just heard some doors close out in the general area and some people stumbling around is what kind of woke you. And you see before you on the table the plate that has been spun, to lead to a portal to outside of the Adune. It is not in a portal currently.
Who's standing in front of me?
Fodar,
Okay.
who you'd met only once before at Mohawk and Popped Art's house, and he'd brought the reward for helping Gargant against the neophytes, and that's where that 1,000 gold came from, to answer your one question.
1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Hold on, my thing crashed, so give me a minute.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, was it a breastplate or just a plate?
Full plate.
Full plate?
Full plate mithril.
There's no full plate. It's probably just plate because there's half plate.
Yeah, sorry. Then that would be plate.
Right.
It's a single piece of fine china.
You get to wear one singular mithril plate on your chest.
You'll be totally invincible.
Well,
They could
Okay,
look
maybe
better
not
on
on
your
your
It
chest
is,
then.
it is ceramic, and that's what they make. Never mind. Dumb jokes. I spin the plate.
Okay. And as you're having the thought, so roll me a performance first.
Okay. This is gonna be. Oh, I'm not terrible at performance. I am terrible at performance. Never mind.
As you're hauling the plate out of your sack, Mime, and you're holding it like, oh, we could put the pillows in here. It rolls out of your hand again and falls to the ground unharmed and starts to act as if it was going to spin and then flops to the ground. And that's basically what happened on your side too, Frederick. Is you tried to spin it on your finger, but you were like, how did they do this? And you're like, trying to be, delicate with it. You just like flick it across the room.
Man, I wish I still had my pinky finger. It'd give me so much more dexterity. I guess I try it again.
Are you trying anything there, Mime?
So I'm gonna look up at Kat and say, like, do you know where the warehouse is for the pillows? Should we just put the pillows in now and then come back and move it?
She did tell us where the warehouse was, right? I don't have my notes with me, so I'm guessing.
She did not. She just said that you could meet her back there after she's gone to the warehouse, basically.
And inform them that we're gonna empty it.
Yeah. Well, you're still standing in front of her stand as well. So you're probably talking out loud, and she would chime in with, if you would go to the warehouse, that would save me a trip. It is only on the other side of the Blue Ring district. It'd probably take you a good hour or two walking. But if you got a carriage, it'd probably get you there in 10.
An hour or two of walking? How big is this place?
Oh, pretty big. Especially if you're considering the canal that splits sORCrates in half. And you have to go, above the wall, and then over the wall, and above the river, and so on and so forth. It's not exactly a straight path. I'm losing my female voice, but...
Yeah, let us know where the warehouse is, and then once we're done shopping here, we'll just head straight over to the warehouse so we can load up our boat.
It's near the wild things.
Do you perhaps have a map?
I don't think we were given a map of sORCrates. We just have a map.
You were.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna gesture to Mime. Do you have that map?
Yeah, I got a map.
And she walks over next to you and points to the right side of your map. You guys are both facing it the same way now. And yeah, this side over here, that's a lot more dingy and dirty. This is an old map. It's been well renovated now. It was only inhabited by those snail creatures, so we took them all out and built in some factories on that side of town. Much more productive use.
All
She's
right.
pointing to the right, across the
Yeah, like
river.
where there's buildings. There's buildings over there.
Yeah, and when you're saying buildings, you're pointing to them, and she's going, oh yeah, those were just the snails' huts. I'm sure you see them all around, even on this side of the river. They kind of look more like slugs when they're not inside the houses, I guess. But they do brew excellent wine from those giant purple berries.
Ooh, the purple berries are good shit. So so did the snails sell their wine?
Well, of course. Otherwise, we would have probably exterminated them long ago.
Wow. Okay. Is there a particular place they sell it?
Pretty much all of them sell their own vintages and the like. I prefer the higher rings than the lower rings where we are now. When the blue ring and the upper ring of the red ring has got some really fine vintages, and if you're lucky enough to get into the castle, there's only a couple there that make their own vintages in the castle, and they are excellent. Only the queen usually partakes, or her party guests. She does like her parties.
Oh, okay.
Guys, we have a new primary goal here.
Use the castle.
No, we have to go visit the
Wait,
queen
Josh,
anyway.
I'm looking at the map of sORCrates, because that's where we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so both of these rings are blue. There isn't a red one. I'm assuming she's calling it red, not because it actually is red, but because of some other reason.
Oh, yes. It has to do with the roofs of the houses. Don't you see? And she points to the map. With the houses in the blue district where you guys are standing in the market. The market is its own place. She goes on to explain, but then the houses all in the blue ring are required to have blue roofs, and the houses in the red ring are all required to have red roofs, and only the queen can have the purple roofs inside of the palace district.
Oh, this is neat. Okay, this is good intel. Good to know. Awesome. Well, thank you, Madame, for being so informative and helpful to our task.
Well, of course, you only have bought me of most of my wares, so I can only help those that have come to the city as much as I can.
All right. So do you know how guests usually get invited to the Queen's parties?
Oh, well, you know, if you're an excellent performer, is one particularly good way to get in. Have any other sort of fine arts that you can, you know, provide her with that she's very fond of? That and or goods and services. It's more or less what I know of. Otherwise, it's fairly well shut off to the general public access.
Okay.
And if you are so keen on and gaining access, you might talk to the proprietor of the well-anointed club in the Red Ring. I'm just blanking on the name off the top of my head, but it's... Oh, I remember now. The Pink Pig.
Okay.
Proprietor of the Pink Pig. Say that 5 times fast.
Proprietor of the Pink Pig, proprietor of the Pink Pig, proprietor of the Pink Pig. I can't do that many times. It's Gesundheit.
Thank you. All right, so
cool.
we know where to go. And don't we already have an invitation to go see the queen from another queen?
Oh, yeah, maybe we do.
To go do a quest for this queen, and then she'll make our ship a flying ship?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we have to go see the Queen anyway. But I guess we should pick up the pillows first, and then, store them on a dune.
Yes. So, shall we continue walking our way through the market and then head over to the warehouse?
Yes, I like this plan. Although I will tell you, Josh, all I see is a grayed out image of a dune.
That is because I moved over to the map for George there, and on that note too, George, you said you were picking up that plate and going to roll another performance, I'm guessing, to try and spin it up?
Yep.
I see the 18 this time.
Yep.
seeing that you didn't pick up the plate and were interested in the comments from the merchant, you all see just beside you where you left the plate on the ground for a second, the portal pop up from Adune.
Frederick walks out and gives a big stretch and a yawn and cracks his neck, sort of thing, and then rubs his head. Where the hell am I?
Is anyone shocked by this? Like a crowd around us?
So you come out of the portal, Frederick, in a busy street. There were people just bustling all the way around you, and when the plate was on the ground, there was somebody stepping over top of it, and you just see them having jumped off to the side and holding in between their legs, just kind of squeaking and otherwise everybody else is giving the portal wide berth and just kind of, some of them are looking slightly offended and some of them are just like, it's another day in a magical city.
Is anyone shocked by my appearance? Not just the portal itself?
No, not particularly. You're seeing in the crowd that's going around you, besides a lot of different races, the most of which are actually full of orcs that are standing at and or around your height, most of which are bare-chested, even the women.
Yeah, where the hell am I? I imagine I see my group of traveling companions.
Yes, directly in front of you, you see Mime and Kat standing at a map with a person.
Is Cat still a chicken? Because I noticed the name had changed.
Yes, Kat is still a chicken.
Okay.
And the Rawlson brothers at this note too say, "Oh, we're going to take all of those pillows and stock the ship that you have here." And they hurry on through the portal.
Okay.
They just start taking all of the pillows from her tent.
And would you like us to take those candles for you there, chicken cat?
Didn't I shove them all into my bag?
Oh yeah, you did.
Like, I know she gave me the 25 that she had, and I have 25 more to pick up later.
You can get those from the factory too if you make mention of it. And she writes it down on a quick scrawl of a note and hands it to you. With
I take it and shove it in the little bag.
with just a as a signature, her lipstick that she presses off of her lips, and there is like a flash of red as she does so.
Magic lipstick. That actually sounds really cool. I need magic lipstick. I thank her and take the note and put it in my bag. I'll turn to... Wait, this isn't Warren. It's Frederick.
Yep.
Correct.
I turn to Frederick and I explain. I'm like, we're shopping. We're to sORCrates, remember?
No. When did we get to this place?
When did we get to this place? It was right after the rhythmic veracity, right? Because we had to like come in a second time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys had gotten basically right to the gates. Shia had helped open the gates, and then as you came back from the Eurythmic Veracity, you were standing outside the gates again without Shia. And that's where you got into that kerfluffle. I'm also trying to draw the portal on there, but it's not working. I might have to draw it by hand. So, what you guys doing?
I'm going to look for a vendor of adventuring equipment.
All right. Start your wanderings and maybe roll me a perception each, because it sounded like that was the case with Kat and Mime as well.
So I'm assessing my goods to see if there's anything I want to store. I never thought about using a dune as like a storage place, which seems very obvious now. We each have our own rooms.
I got a question about that. So, the ship in the bottle has a weight. Does the weight increase as we add stuff to it in like scale to the ship size?
It was a certain amount, but you got to figure the scale of the ship being scaled down to the bottle being proportional. So
I
if
know.
you're-
That. Just asking if that would be like a future problem that we might run into.
If you're thinking that it's like at 200th or 500th of a scale, from an inch to comparatively or cubic even wise, then you're talking like so minor amounts of weight that you'd have to add like another ship in there to notice any actual weight.
Good to know.
Yeah, didn't we like rid a dune of a bunch of water too? So technically lighter. We made room.
And
Yeah,
I was
we haven't replenished a dune's water yet, have we?
It on that note, Hamilton might chime in at this because you were standing on deck when you noticed that all of the water had reappeared at some point
Oh, good.
in your dozings.
I thought we got rid of the water too.
No,
It
I
was-
remember us going back to the ship after we had emptied the bottle of water, and there was just water there again.
I just remember like concerned, right? Because we took all of Adune's water, and I didn't want to make Adune uncomfortable. And I remember having a conversation with Adune and being like, "We're gonna replenish your water. I'm so sorry." Like what? And Adune didn't seem very concerned about it,
And
but maybe it like magically reappeared,
yeah, that's
which means we can flood things. Will
well, yeah. Take some time to regenerate, as you're noting, but possibly.
yeah. I like having it as an option.
So I see, Frederick, your perception there as a 21. I did only briefly catch what you said you were looking for.
A shop that would carry adventuring gear.
That's why I briefly caught it, because I don't know what you mean by that.
Rope, block and tackle, stuff you might need.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
a general,
Store, I guess.
yeah, I would actually even potentially call it like an outdoor store is what we would call it these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is the D&D Cabela's at?
You're walking along. Your companions were already kind of facing south, so you follow their direction more or less around the portal. I'm not sure if anyone's picking that up, or filling it with more stuff. It sounded like potentially. I was going to mention too for your inventories, what would be good if you were to like put a backpack or something like that. Because you can sub-genre things into individual backpacks, and maybe, I don't know if you can. I think you can. Yeah, you can edit the name of the backpack to name override it as a Dune, so that way you'd still know, what's in your inventory quotes, but you would know that you'd have to go to a Dune to get certain things, for instance.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Anywho, so you're wandering down there, Frederick, and you notice a big striped tent off into the back that is laden from the pinnacle down to the ground with all sorts of varying, just about anything you could have wanted and or imagined for what your purposes were here. And you don't even see the owner of said stand. It seems like no one's standing by it.
But tis.
Hmm.
Hello.
Did you get kicked?
What?
Can you hear me?
I'm saying that in.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, I was confused for a second. Hello.
It was, so you say that and you hear a rustling and a jostling from the back. It's of the tent, it sounds like. And then you see like a pile of rope fall over, and out tumbles a like 2.5 foot tall lizard person. That's hello.
Hi. Are you the owner of this here stand?
I am today.
Interesting.
What exactly does that mean?
Oh, well, we take turns. Me and my family.
Okay. Would you happen to have a block and tackle in stock, along with some rope and maybe a grappling hook?
I can definitely handle that. Do you just need basic, or would you need some sort that are magical? I think we have some in stock you might be interested in. You look like a well-traveled sort.
You do strike my interest.
Well, it is claimed that these particular grappling hook that I can think of offhand, that I know that is stocked somewhere in this mess, and he kind of gestures behind him, is definitely an unbreakable rope with a well, I can get you a different grappling hook for it, but it does come generally with a silver one, because I think it's intended for the use of, dealing with unsavory sorts.
I see.
And the block and tackle, I mean, could you elaborate a little bit more? Maybe I'm not familiar with that.
The pulley system, it lets you lift more weight.
Oh, a pulley! Yes. We have quite a few different varieties of those as well. Magically wise, I could probably offer one that, the usual sort, you could probably lift double your weight, right? Right? These, you could probably lift quadruple.
Yeah, that's kind of... never mind. I'm kind of strapped at the moment due to my last adventure, so just need to replenish on some of the basics.
You should have that 1,000, by the way, too. As far as
Okay, apparently I have 1,000 gold.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say I know I added it to my bag.
I don't remember where we got the 1,000 gold from.
It would have been from...
Your rhythmic
Was it the Monster Hunters Guild with the guy in the treehouse, and they tried to eat me, and then
I
you,
remember
Frederick,
that.
saved me.
I remember that. That I do remember.
No, this was... The 1,000 gold was from Fodar, a.k.a. Ike, when he made that appearance just before Eurythmic Veracity at Popped Arts and Moak's
Oh yeah.
house in the tree. You may have been sleeping in that particular instance, but they would have distributed your money.
Okay, that
It is the good campaign after all.
Yeah, we wouldn't just keep your money. Don't worry.
I don't know about that. Okay, so an unbreakable rope.
So you say you're strapped for cash, and then you look in your pocket and you go, scratch that. Unbreakable rope, you say?
And by the way, Josh, block and tackle is an actual item in the game.
I'm sure it is, but I needed some elaboration for my own sake, too. So I just figured I'd wrap it into the roleplay.
And the normal one lets you lift 4 times your weight. I'm just letting you know.
Well, then,
This poor uneducated lizard.
you know, you figure that he means 8 times your weight as opposed to 4.
Okay. Just
And honestly, I'd prefer the ones that do 10 times your weight because it's just easier math.
that's a real good sales pitch right there. How much for the unbreakable rope with a normal grappling hook and a
Oh, I could probably part with that for. And you get a gleam in his eye, and he says, 10 gold.
and how much for the 10 times block and tackle?
Oh, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, obviously, if I had to run it through a couple enchanters. So we're talking. We could do like 35 gold.
Can I make a perception check to see if this guy knows anything about what he's talking about? Because he sounds very unsure of himself.
It wouldn't be a perception. It would be an insight.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Did Frederick go off by himself, or did we all like walk with him?
He just kind of walked slightly down the path from you. You can still see him out of the corner of your, vision while you guys are talking about storing stuff on the dune.
I'm sure I'm very visible.
Yeah, especially even in the crowd, you can see him parting the ways, especially off to the side here because the crowd is mainly meandering through the path you guys are standing in. So you guys are standing in the main part of the flow. Where Frederick's standing is off to the side of the path a little bit. A couple stands off to the side there.
Okay, so we're really in the way.
With a lot of pillows.
I just imagine I'm doing the normal tall guy thing and just like breaking the path through the crowd of people.
They just get out of your way.
That's what you were doing when you were in the midst of it, for sure. But at this particular juncture, there's only a couple people walking by you, gazing into each part of the stands and such as they walk by. But not everybody's going out of their way to go onto this little juncture of the path. And your insight tells you that he's being completely honest with you. He might be just a little unsure and you're looking at the stacks of shit that he has only because he turns back and says, it might take me a bit to, rifle through one of my brother's wonderful categorying is
Nightmares.
yes, gives me the hives.
So that was 35 for the block and tackle, and how much for the rope in a normal?
I can part with that for 10. It's a rather simple enchantment.
Would you take 40 for both? Persuasion.
Yes. I'm just gonna roll to see if what kind of mood he's in. He goes, well, you're one of my first customers for the day, so it would really, that extra 5 would really help me out. But, I could probably go down to 35, 40, 43, but you know it's that'd be pushing my limits here. And I like nice round numbers, as you've noted.
We could have a deal at 43.
And he says, "Deal," and he sticks out his clawed fingers in a handshake gesture.
I very daintily shake his hand.
And you feel a tingling go up your arm as a reddish hue kind of permeates across, and he says, "Deal." And he goes hurriedly back into the mess, and you hear stuff falling around all through the tent and just jostling all about. And then you see a coil of rope flying out of the mess towards you, and he says, "Catch!"
Athletics?
Sure. You stick out both arms, catching the rope coil perfectly around the first arm, actually, and it kind of just loops around it up to your elbow.
Imagine I just took my hand out and just like flies over it.
And then he comes sauntering out, kicking shit to the side, like fucking Jim, frickin'. And he hands you the regular grappling hook portion, and he says, "Oh yes, don't forget this." And then he just kind of like looks back at the mess and starts climbing back into it and cursing. And you hear him jostling about some more before he grabs one out, and you see him holding it out in above the pile and it's up like towards the top of the tent and one of the tent joists that he's standing now, and he grabbed a piece and he's holding it over his head with like great satisfaction, like, "Ha, fuck you, I found it, Jim." And he just comes over and hands you this perfectly metal piece of it almost doesn't look like it moves until you spin one of the wheels that are the pulley inside for the block and tackle.
Very smooth.
Ah, yes. That's why I was such a hard deal to part with. And as he puts the block in your hand, you feel the tingling of the deal being done fade away.
I figure I already handed over my gold.
Yep. That's what I was figuring anyways.
Yeah. Anything else I might be interested while I'm here?
Oh, I mean, do you know what you're going to be doing? It could possibly help me with suggesting some things to take with you.
Let me think for a second. Ask what everyone's doing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. So, Mime, Cat, and Hamilton, you storing anything on Adune, or are you picking the plate up and getting out the middle of the road?
I think maybe once the brothers are done loading on their pillows, we can pick the plate up and hand it out, because I don't think the rest of us have large items that we need to store right now.
Yeah, no.
I don't have anything to drop.
And, all right. So you're picking the plate back up, Mime?
Yes.
All right. You grab the edge of it and feel it stop spinning on your finger and gracefully toss it into your sack. And I know you guys said what you were looking for particularly, Cat, I know. If you want to roll me a perception. And meander down the path, I guess. I don't know if Mime or Hamilton were looking for anything else in particular, though.
I just wanted some clothes.
I'm good. I just really needed
Figure
armor.
a new pair of pants and a new shirt. Mine are probably real grimy and grubby.
I rolled a 10. Also, when I'm looking at the screen, I can just see a Dune.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
me
still looking
too.
at the Dune.
That's my problem. My apologies. I should have noticed that sooner. I apologize.
Hey, there we are.
Yeah.
Look at all that color.
That makes sense to why you were even more so confused, Frederick. I thought you were...
I was like, I'm lost. I don't know where everything is.
Apologize. Yeah, I can just hop back and forth on the maps, but I have to like drag your guys' vision from one spot to the other. It's just a little like bookmark thing on the map, but when I'm jumping from map to map, sometimes I don't always grab that.
Oh, no worries. All right.
So-
Yeah, so I'm walking past these stalls and I'm looking for clothes and or shoes.
Roll me a perception, and Kat, as you're walking through, something at this stand catches your eye to what you were looking for, but you only catch a glimpse of it from afar, and you can't see the table as you near it, like the top of the table.
Which tent was it?
It's an orange, dark orange with a yellow stripe.
Oh, okay.
And
All right, it won't let me turn my character, so I'm just facing the wrong way, but I'm looking at this vendor's tent.
okay, so you back up a little bit so you can see the top of the table, and you realize that on top of it are a array of what looks like different spheres of object, but they're all glassy, and one does look similar to the material that what you're talking about, with kind of the spider web of gray, I believe you just described it as. I'm
Silver, white,
Silver.
pearlescent veins.
White pearlescent veins. That's why I had it backwards. Damn dyslexia. So yeah, that's what it looks like, and it's in the front of the table, right in the middle.
Do I see anyone at the store? At the
You
vendor?
do. Standing right next to the side of it is a robed figure that is kind of standing over the orbs, not facing you, what looks like polishing one of them.
uh, hmm. So, should I try to inspect this from a distance or just hop up on the table and freak this guy out?
I'm assuming you're asking your companions and not me.
Yeah, I am.
Hand it to him. Don't freak the guy out.
I mean, do you want a shoulder to stand on? With how tall I am, you'll probably be right at the level.
Oh yeah, that would actually be really great. We should try that.
Let me look over. I'm also at a weird place where the place for me to turn my character around is hidden underneath a symbol, like a button, so I can't turn around. So I'm gonna come walk over. I am inspecting the stall, and lean over so you can jump up on my shoulder.
I do that. I hop up on their shoulder. Oh, I finally turned. Did I do that?
I get you guys.
Okay, thanks.
you.
No problem.
But yeah, I'm gonna hop up on their shoulder and I'm gonna inspect the table even closer. Mm.
And as you walk up, Mime, closer to the tent, then the figure I'm just going to put this person next to you for reference there, but that's not exactly what they would look like, is standing there polishing one of the orbs and notices your shadow, come up across over their stand and goes, "Oh, I had predicted such a thing would have happened." And she turns and goes, "Well, hello." And she's looking directly at you, Kat, not Mime.
Oh. I say hello in a little bit of astonishment. Like, did you already know that I could speak?
It was predicted in the orb, but this was even hard for me to believe. You see
I
an
look
old,
at her all squinty-eyed.
you see an old withered face of presumably a human, and wrapped in robes. That's the only thing that's exposed of her, and she's standing only half a head taller than Mime.
I don't recognize her, or do I recognize her?
You do not, at least right now. You could try to roll history.
14.
She strikes a memory in your mind of another really old professor from your college, but or school, your wizarding school, but not she just doesn't have the same features as that person. There's a lot of just the amount of wrinkles she has, though, is reminiscent of that old professor, because it is prolific.
Hmm.
She looks more like leather than skin.
I ask her, I'm like, do you know a professor in the Wizard's Tower on the island? I can't remember what it's called, and I don't have my notes.
Insert blank here. Well, I've not heard of that professor, but wait. And she scratches her. She pulls up a robed hand and scratches the side of her head. Actually, it does ring a soft bell, though. He used to bother me in many letters, I think, asking about different things that I've found in my travels. Used to be quite a traveler myself, you see.
I can see you have many fine wares here.
Yes,
Where have you located some of these things?
my balls. Yes, I can't. I must get rid of them before I set out on probably my last voyage. I've collected them over the years, though, and brought them back here to this town that I'd had a nice home. My husband passed away not too long ago, though, so it's time to be moving on. It's hard to tell you each location. Is there any one that catches your eye in particular? The balls didn't show me that.
I indicate the black sphere with the white silver veins in it.
Yes, a fine piece. I believe I may have gotten that one around Byzantium, I think.
And Byzantium's where that tree is. I don't say this out loud. I am reminiscing in my head. Can I inspect this stone? Can I get a closer look at it?
Yes, please, by all means.
So I'm gonna hop to the table and go to that stone. And can I tell if it has any kind of aura or anything?
Arcana. Or unless you're just doing like a ritual cast of detect magic or something like that too?
Nope. 15 for Arcana check.
So you're kind of looking to either side of it, on top of it, below it with your long neck chicken head bobbing around, looking at it. And she goes, "Please feel free to touch. It's won't go anywhere fast." And as soon as you lay just like ever so daintily cautious the tip of your beak on the orb, it does give off the faintest of magical auras that you can feel. But nothing in particular happens.
Okay. I'm gonna ask her how much she wants for it. How much are you willing to part for this?
Well, as you know, I've traveled long and many places for these and collected them over many years. To me, besides being bubbles, they are also quite wonderful in divining. Is one of my main arts. So I could part with it for... Let's do... I got that back in... Oh, let's see, 515. Let's do 515 gold.
515, as you mean 515 gold?
Oh, yes. Look at it. It's a 3-foot sphere.
It's a 3-foot sphere?
Highly polished material. It's well worked and well crafted.
Do you know who crafted this stone?
Yes, of course. I did it myself in my shop before I'd lost my dexterity. And she holds up her withered hands.
Do her hands... Her hands are withered. Are they any kind of discolored?
The one does look to be paler than the other. And not just like it hasn't gotten sunlight, almost as if it were grayed meat that had been left out too long.
Okay, so this thing's 3 foot tall, so it's bigger than me. I was imagining something the size of like a baseball.
3 foot in 3 foot in diameter, so yeah, it is 3 foot tall.
I agree to her price.
Wonderful.
And I want to question her more. Like, she said you do scrying most often. Have your powers or your abilities grown as of late?
As of late, no, but back then it was multiplying quite quickly.
Okay. I'm gonna flutter back over. I'm gonna flutter back over to Mime and ask her to get all that gold. What was it, 513?
15, dear.
15? I'm gonna ask her to get 515 out of my bag.
15 gold. What are you gonna do with this big ball?
I don't know, but I need it. I need
It's like
this
as
ball. I whisper to Mime, this is part of something that I've been looking for a really long time. So if I can get it onto the ship and study it, I might be able to learn more about it.
How big is the portal when we make it the plate?
Oh, it's a solid 5 feet in from top to bottom, and it probably is. It's just a 5 foot radius. flat.
So it's big enough for us to walk through. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I can get your gold out for you, and I can open the portal, but I cannot help you with this sphere. It is literally as big as I am.
There's a few of us here. Maybe some of the larger comrades can help carry it into the ship.
And she sticks out one of her clawed hands towards you, Cat, though, to strike up the deal. In a handshake motion.
I put out one of my feeted talons to shake her hand.
And your two claws clasp together, and you feel a tingle run up your leg. And a slight puff of red as the deal is obstruct, and she just says, "Deal." And as presumably Mime is rifling through your sack to pull out that 15, and you're talking about how to get the stone, the crystal back to the ship.
Yeah. I need this stone, guys. And I need to perform tests on it, which I don't know how to do. But I believe this is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, I removed all that money. There it goes.
And Adune chimes in actually over the torque towards you, having heard her name a few times, is able to seemingly communicate and says, "Oh, well, don't forget, she has got her alchemical lab in her room. And I think I could whip something up for you right quick, dearie."
Oh, yes. This sounds wonderful. I thank the vendor very kindly, and I'm like, we will be back in just a moment to retrieve this. And I'm just gonna start fluttering like back towards the group if they're not with us, and excitedly being like, guys, you have to come pick this up. I can't pick it up. I need you to pick it up. My God!
Just to save some time, I'm going to say I also asked that shopkeeper if he had a lantern and some oil for it.
No need to save any time. We're here having fun, right?
Yeah.
A lantern and what's that?
Flask of oil for the lantern.
Flask of oil. Ah, sure. Well, I can give you this one here, and he just kind of kicks some rope aside and pulls it up, hands and is holding it in one hand for a single gold for the lantern, and he's holding what looks like pointing rather towards like a 5-gallon jug, and another gold for that whole thing there. Oh, I was
Deal.
talking more like this. All right then. And he sticks out his clawed hand to shake again. And when you exchange the gold to him, he gives you the lantern and 5-gallon jug of oil.
Okay.
Or, yeah, you said
These
oil.
people really like to shake hands.
Oh, well. I'm assuming, Kat, you said that near them anyways.
Yep, just out loud.
And she said, "Well, don't you know? You're in the market of sORCrates. It's one of the founding features of this particular city, and it is withheld to be a magical place, one that any deal struck upon these cliffs must be met at the extent of their fullest, or the deal that had been made will slowly kill you."
Oh, that's good to know.
That evil cat does not bode well.
Oh, it's just you can't fault me. I've been here dealings for a while. I'm not sure. I've only seen a few people that decided not to do what they said they would in the deal. Let's just say they looked worse than I did after the day was over.
Okay, bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Okay. I lost you all.
I don't think so. I think everybody just went quiet after the information and fear. It's like, well, I guess we're not fucking anybody over here.
Oh, no, I said things.
Oh,
But
then yeah, we
the
did.
evil cackle did not bode well. Like that. That concerns me.
And then she went on to explain about that some more. So you did lose us.
Yeah, that's okay.
Frederick is now going to look for a armor smithy.
So Hamilton, what are you keeping your eye out for other than the armor that you'd found? Hello?
Am I? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, honestly. What the hell? I'm sorry. I just found a piece of cheese on my shirt.
Mm. Saving it for later.
I am. Thing in particular that I can think of offhand.
Okay.
It's like
There
my
is
biggest thing was just armor because I was quite squishy.
quite a lot of varying things through the market, but you guys are noting quite a good deal of different fruits and other things that you've not seen before, and especially in and around the regions you've traveled, except for maybe Hamilton, you've seen a bit more than, but there are still some that you haven't seen that are in these different stalls of different vendors and such, as well as just all sorts of spices and foods and unidentifiable different things that you would.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, wasn't the previous tent we were at before this one an armory tent? Because Frederick just asked about that.
That was farther back. That's where Hamilton just came from, and I didn't realize Frederick had asked about it. But Frederick, you would see Hamilton walking around in a nice new set of shiny, shiny armor.
Where'd you get that, my friend?
Nice guy. A few tents back, next to that giant. What was that, like a lotus?
More or less the shape of, but it is glowing softly.
Yes, back by the glowing flower back there.
Um,
Don't stare at his hooves.
I have to Google this now.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of it too.
what?
We'll see.
Okay. I start heading that way. Oh, I see.
That's unfortunate. We need to come up with a name for them because apparently they don't have any special name, and they're not claws, paws, feet, hooves, or
Those?
they're just feet.
Well, if they have a trunk, what about stumps? Because ain't
That's
they like
what I was.
around?
That's what I was calling them, more or less.
I was thinking earlier, like, aren't they just feet? Don't elephants just have feet?
Well, they're more. Ain't they just like big round, like big, like?
Yeah, it's
They're-
like a tree trunk.
Yeah, but then they have unmovable toes on it that are like got these big toenail kind of
Yeah,
deals.
like, what is it, like 3 or 4 of them down there?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it
stumps.
sounds like feet.
Since they have a trunk, I think they should have stumps. Feet.
Apparently, they use their feet for hearing too.
That's an interesting way to use your feet.
But yeah, so you wander your way back that direction, and you're seeing this red tent that is laden with tables of armor and standing weaponry around the fence, the tent poles, and everything. Frederick.
Yes.
And behind the tables, you see a large Loxodon individual resting back up against one of the posts with his trunk curled up in front of him, starting to doze. It seems like his eyelids are fluttering.
Excuse me, good sir.
Hello.
I believe you just sold a set of armor to my friend of mine, and I was wondering if you would have anything in my size.
Ooh. Well, dear, quite a large fellow. Good to see another one of such stature around here. Well, I don't think I have any on hand, but I could have one of these, and he points to the many different varieties on the tables, made up for you by the end of the day, or early tomorrow at the latest.
Hmm. Hmm. How much for a set of plate?
Just a regular old plate? You have no interest in other things, he says, with a coy
Well-
little smile.
That depends on what you're offering.
Well,
Oh wow.
which friend was it that was here before?
A
And
friend-
are you looking for any sorts of protections in particular?
Mm. The friend here before was named Hamilton.
Oh, that was a fine deal he got on his. I could, if you're looking for something in the stealthy department as he was, then I do have a few other pieces that are of mithril make that I could probably get adjusted to your size.
No. I'm much more kick the door down type of fellow myself.
Oh, so you want the full meal deal? I think I could rustle up a full set of adamantium. I might have to go to the. I'm making a trip to the smithy anyways. I think I could get you the full set of an adamantium set if that's what you're looking for.
And how much would that cost me?
Oh, when you see him hold up one of his feet hands, it sounds so dumb, and he starts counting on his toes.
With a trunk.
Yeah, with his trunk, and you're seeing the numbers go up, but then come back down for some reason. And then he kind of loses track and he starts over, and then he yawns again. Been a long day. Well, the metal itself is quite pricey. I'm sure you can understand. So, I could probably part with a full set of armor with no magical fixings for, probably like 700 gold even. It's a real good deal, I'm telling you. This stuff is 100 gold per pound usually. That's just in the raw material.
You said with no magical fixings. Is there any magical fixings you offer?
Oh, indeed. Earlier today I'd made a bargain for a set of armor that maximizes their magical uses. but you don't look like a fella to use such a thing. I could, though, perhaps throw in a... Oh, shoot. Looking pretty strong, but I bet you could do with a little boost. Of strength, that is. I'm guessing, and I can manage something like that, or and he looks at your 2 shields that you're carrying and kind of gets a corked eyebrow, and after hearing your other explanations goes, well, would you be interested in any offensive tactic armor?
I kind of just hold out my gauntleted fist and activate it.
Oh, that is a wonderful piece you've got there. And his eyes are huge. I don't think I could rep you. Yeah, I don't think I could do that with my own magical abilities. I have heard tale of a individual in the mountains that can do such a thing with armor. But I would have to leave a large variety of the armor unenchanted for them probably to use the full ability of the metal.
Actually, could you do anything about, say, heighten my reflexes? In my old age, I've kind of lost a step or two.
Ah, that is a fine thing indeed to ask for it. I think that I could probably work something out like that. It would take a little bit of doing. I'd have to make sure that the craftsman prepares the joints and the leathering. I could do it for another 50 gold, I think. So a 750, I think, is where we're at.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
And he holds out one of his feet
stumps.
Feet stumps towards you to proffer like a handshake.
I shake his hand.
And he shakes yours, and the tingling sensation that you're familiar with travels across your arm. And he says, deal. And presumably...
Yeah, I
that didn't come through. But I heard it up here.
What was it?
Oh, yeah.
He's just downstairs meowing.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Why are you upstairs?
I was cooking dinner when we started, and I just haven't gone downstairs since I've been done.
Oh.
Told her to get the fuck out.
The only 2 people in the same place right now, and you're not even in the same room.
Nope.
How social of you.
Exactly.
So he elaborates by saying, deal, I'll have the armor ready by latest tomorrow. Meet me here.
All right. Do I see anywhere that would sell magical items, perhaps?
Any particular magical items you're looking for, or are you talking to the Loxodon?
Bag of holding is what I'm looking for.
Oh, I think that you'll want to go, to the second intersection, third or fourth tent. It's a yellow tent on the left down.
Thank you.
Gladly. Let Krillin know that I sent you his way.
Will do.
And my name is Lilin, by the way.
Lillian.
I was gonna say we need to remember his name and ask if he knows any friends because we bought so much from him already. Our party.
I'm just going to say I go where he told me to go because I'm so good with directions.
Well, you know what you could do is roll with disadvantage a survival.
Why would
Just
this
gets lost.
Hamilton, were you going to be distracted by a Flint lookalike? Or is that going to be kept for another time?
For another time.
Okay.
I rolled 2 16s. It didn't show up for some reason.
Oh, okay. Odd. You might have to go to features and traits again. That's interesting though too. 2 16s.
Yeah, like I roll. It did the thing where it rolls in your game.
Yeah. No, I see it. So you did that. You did that last game too, with another advantage disadvantage check, and they were both the same number. Anywho, you get to the same spot just about where you were before. You're looking around, and you don't even see a yellow tent, but you do see one in this direction and one over here through a couple tents on the left one, and down the road on your right for the other one, and you notice that there's another intersection up ahead of you, kind of like he'd mentioned, and you're standing there, and you notice another Loxodon standing behind a table with basic leather goods of sorts, what looks like on the table. Oh, hello. Please come by.
Nice to meet you, fine sir.
Greetings. Might I interest you in some extra-dimensional luggage?
That'd be quite nice. Lilith sent me, by the way.
Lilin. Ah, yes. Well, I could. He sent you this way, you said? He's quite a good lad. He helps me in procuring some of my leathers for my enchanting.
That is quite nice of him. Quite nice words. I'm looking for a bag of holding.
Any particular shape, or are you just looking for the basics? Because, you know, these things can hold a lot, but depending upon the user and the style, we can really get something nice out of it.
Something to replace this old backpack here would be nice.
Ah, you know what I have for that is an excellent divisional extra-dimensional bag. So, and he pulls out from under the counter a very similar looking item to what you have, but a much more newly worked, fully leather bag, and it has a couple extra pockets and such that are in it as well. And he says, just about every pocket on this is another extra-dimensional portal into a small pocket verse.
And how much is that?
Oh, I could let this one go for. And he brings up a foot, starts counting with his trunk. Oh, I could let this go for 250 gold. It was a hefty time putting all of these pockets on there, and just so you don't have to go about counting them yourself, there's easily a division of 14 pockets of the basic sort. There's some smaller ones that you could easily fit some smaller sized things in for quick access. Another 10 of those hidden throughout. I could definitely show you them after the purchase is done, but some of them are secretive and I would like kept secret for my work, if you understand, and I'm sure the purchaser would like to keep some secret holdings of their own.
Indeed. Hold on, I'm looking at some stuff. Would you do 100 gold?
Did you say 200? Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, well, if you could convince Lillian to give me my next order of leather on the house, then sure.
I'll see about that.
Want you to make deals for him. That's sketchy.
Don't get things for free. Are Hamilton, Cat, and Mime proceeding with getting the stone onto Adune then?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, how are we getting this stone up there? Because it's 3 feet in diameter. So how much does this weigh?
Math hard.
Let's Google it.
Okay. Yeah, there's gonna be different densities, obviously. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like 165 pounds.
Okay.
I'm guessing I'm walking past as this is happening.
Yeah.
Watching us struggle. I do want to make note that while it is in its stone form, it is safe to like touch barehanded, but if we are going to like sand it down or wet it, that's when it would start to cause problems.
I wouldn't mind moving that for y'all. If you wouldn't mind lending me 25 gold. I'm sure I would get it back to you.
On Tuesday.
I'd be willing to give you 25 gold if you will pick this up. I am desperate for this rock. It sounded dirty.
Yep. Please no low rolls. God damn it!
The lowest roll you have tonight is for your strength, and that's the highest thing that you have. Other than it looks like athletics, but excuse me. You still. I was going to say, how much do you weigh? Are you like 2 times the weight of the stone itself?
410, I think.
Oh, okay. So you're like.
No, 315. Yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, you're like 2 times the weight of the stone. So you go to grab it with one hand, and you're like, oh, well, that's not going to work. So you brace yourself with both of your legs, and straighten your back. You know, you've been taught, it looks like, to know what you're doing, and you lift, grunting it off the ground.
Denser than it looks. Where am I putting this?
So the portal's open. I guess I'm gonna run through and I'm gonna ask Adune where we should put this boulder.
The portal is not open, as far as I know.
Oh. Well, we're gonna put this on Adune, and I asked Mime if they can open the portal, please.
Yeah, what's the roll?
4 minutes.
It was almost an 18.
It's spinning on your finger, and it starts to take before stopping the spin, and you just barely catch it before it stops spinning.
Let me try that again.
We're so good at the things we're good at.
I'm gonna laugh and be like, ha ha.
And this time, as you're laughing, you spin it expertly on the tip of your finger, and it's taking off before you let go, and the portal springs to life wherever you're having it. I don't know where that is exactly.
Are we doing this right in the walkway just to be more of an annoyance to the crowd? Or did we go off to the side in between vendors?
I mean, how crowded is it on the street right now?
I didn't populate it visibly, just because that would be a lot of work, but it is fairly crowded. You're looking at a noonday rush, as it were. It's getting on towards maybe one or just a little bit afternoon, because you see most people that are walking in the crowd too, with sandwiches or other carried food items that you're smelling, that must be coming from the most southern portion of the market that you haven't seen yet.
Well, I'm not going to try to go far away from where the sphere is right now. So I'm going to be right in front of this shop's, the front of the stand, or like as close to the sphere as I possibly can be. That's where I'm going to try to open this.
All right. I will assume you mean like right there, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the shopkeep is going, whoa, that's old lady voice, come on. That's no.
That's a fine portal.
It's not gonna come to me right now.
Oh, Sonny.
Fancy gate you got there.
You could always do like the raspy smoker voice. That worked for many.
It's a fancy gate you got there.
Oh my.
Gonna shoot her some finger guns.
And presumably,
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of the way so whoever's carrying the thing can get through.
Frederick, you hurry on through, lugging this thing to the other side. You just, for simplicity's sake, or just want to tell me where you set it on the other side, because you were just over there. You kind of can remember where stuff is, more or less.
I set it where Kat tells me to set it.
Oh, okay.
Let's take it to I just blanked on her name.
Chia?
Yeah. She is a chemistry station, or what did Adune call it? But the little magical experimentation station that
Whatever.
Chia has set up.
The thing that she's talking about. I'll take it there.
All right.
And I'm just running ahead of him right now.
Alchemy station.
Simplicity's sake, that's where it went.
Okay. I'm guessing I get the 25 gold after that happens.
Yeah, after you set it down, I'll pull the gold out of my little side bag, and I hand it to you one piece at a time because that's all I can do.
Oh, that worked. Oh, it's giant.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Can you use lube next time?
I'll spit on it for you.
Nah, it works.
I walk back to the shopkeep I was just at.
Okay. Well, did you get Lillian's
Is that it? Should I close the portal?
Thank you.
No, I didn't, but I did some thinking, and I think 250 is a fair price for that bag.
Well, that sounds like a deal to me. And he sticks out a foot, hand
Stump.
to shake,
I shake it.
and you feel the ever so more familiaring tingle along your arm, and he hands over the bag as you hand over the gold.
And once again, I am poor.
And just like that, he has soft nipples again.
Not this character.
Oh yeah, good point. Never mind.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that I closed the portal and put the plate back in my bag.
Yep.
And then I'm looking for clothes still.
And as you're doing so, you're seeing a gentleman set up, actually, and I didn't have the time to do this, but I'm just thinking along the lines, swinging in a hammock right around here next to a red striped tent with a lot of fine clothing, it looks like, hung up, and some basic folded on some tables underneath the hanging clothing.
Swinging on a hammock's my kind of guy.
And as
Gonna
you
wander on over.
walk nearer, you see that he is dressed to the nines and has a small, what looks like frog on his shoulder as he's reading a book in the hammock.
Even better.
But
I'm just gonna start looking at the wares.
okay. In the tent, you do spot quite a lot of nice things hanging, like I'd said. The style here, though, is, you can tell, a bit different than where you're used to. The cuts are a lot tighter, and the style seems to be of some sort for the situated in the tent too. On one side of male or masculine, and the other side of females, with the females leaning more towards the skirts and dress attire, as well as the other side being more situated towards suit like stuff, and then the basics being some sort of workman clothes of and or akin to their higher class styles, if that makes any sense.
I'm going to walk closer to him in the hammock and be like, "You got any tunics?"
He puts the book down in his lap, and he's like fluttering his eyes, and he kind of looks up, squinting. Oh, time is it? He looks up at the sun. Did you say tunics?
Yeah, probably child sizes.
Those? He kind of leans over the hammock's edge as he's setting the book down in his lap, and he goes, "Oh, I thought maybe you were sitting. I can probably get you something like that. Just a simple tunic, you say? Any particular color?" We've got the means for all here.
Like a forest green would be nice.
Forest green tunic. Oh, I can get you something like that for 5 copper.
Okay. Maybe I'll do 2 of those then. Maybe one in green and one in brown.
Oh, okay. You got a special occasion. I can dress you to the 9s if you like. Or to the
Oh,
13. To the 13 if you're really feeling it, because, 13 gods and all.
Well, we might be paying the queen a visit later. It might be nice to look nice.
The queen, you say? Then you best be
Yeah.
looking your best. Pun intended. You've got to dress to impress there. The court's no simple place.
Yeah. So what do you have for the court? What am I looking at, like a 3-piece attire here? Do you have anything in my size?
I can whip something up pretty quick for you. And he sets the book down in the hammock, swings his legs over. The frog still holding onto the side of his shoulder, seemingly with little perturbation at his movements, and he stands up. He's fashionably dressed with a top hat. You see that he left off to the side, and he puts on his head with a peacock feather that's hanging off to the side and a golden brooch in the center. And he, as he sets the book down, takes both of his hands out, and you see that he kind of flicks them off to the side, and he there's a flash of light, and both of his hands turn into a sort of tailoring devices, one being a set of rulers and the others of scissors and some other sewing shears, it looks like. And then he flicks his hands again, and you're not sure if that was just the catch of the light or what, and he holds on to the sides of his vest that he's wearing and says, bet you I could get you something in your size in less than an hour.
All right. Well then, I would appreciate that. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to draw too much attention, and I'm not a very fancy kind of person, but it would be good to look nice. So a full I don't want to say fancy, I don't want to say special occasion. I'll say a full set of court attire, and then 2 tunics and a pair of pants.
Okay. And the pants, you don't have any particular coloration on those? Or would you like me to match the general workman brown?
Yeah, just brown. Brown is good.
Okay. And the court attire. Could you give me another adjective to work with as he takes one of his hands off his vest and starts stroking his chin? I'm gonna need maybe not a color. Maybe think of an emotion that strikes your personality. He says, gesturing with his hand flat.
Mm. I want to say jovial, but I feel like that's going to get me too. I feel that's going to be a little too much. I really can I just shoot him some finger guns?
You can. I mean, this is D&D. You can do whatever you want.
I'm just gonna shoot him some finger guns.
He gets kind of a quirked eyebrow and goes,
Nothing too fancy.
think I can run with that. And he just kind of gets a very questioning and forsaken look on his face as he stares up into the clouds. And then he pulls out from a pocket on the hammock. It looks like another book that it's sketchbook size, and he pulls a pencil out of it and starts sketching some stuff. Might take a bit more than an hour though, if you've got the time.
Yeah, we're not doing anything till tomorrow, right? Do I recall that being something that the party...
Tomorrow? Oh, I could definitely have something ready for tomorrow if and or when that is that you would like to pick it up. So for the pair of pants, 2 tunics, he closes the sketchbook with the pencil in it very quickly and holds out his hand to shake. And this fine attire, do you need to see any sketches beforehand, or do I have free reign?
You have free reign. Just
then-
recall that I don't buy clothes very often, so nothing too too fashionable. More a conservative classic style, and just loose. Nothing too tight. I need to be able to move.
He gets a grin on his face and strikes out his hand, or is still holding out his hand to you and listening, and says, and is shaking his head rather while you're continuing, waiting to make sure that you were finished.
And do you have a quote on how much this might cost?
Ah, yes. I think I could do such a thing for a simple gold piece, he says, holding his hand out.
All of that included, 1 gold piece.
Yes, certainly. It's within my abilities.
Alrighty.
And you go to shake his hand,
Yes.
and you feel a tingle as he says, "A deal well struck. I will have it ready for you tomorrow." And then he goes under one of the tables into what looks like a crate of sorts and pulls out the 2 tunics, and then over to another one and pulls out a pair of pants that are very apparently child-sized or close to your size, and hands them to you.
Awesome. I wonder if they have a bath in this town.
Do you say that aloud?
Yeah.
Oh, of course we have such things, but you need to go to the right places. In this ring, you're not going to find anything suitable for somebody that's going toward the palace. You're going to want to go to the Red Ring.
Okay, we have to head that way anyway. Good to know. Thank you for the information, good sir.
And he tips his hat. Delighted. And he looks around and then takes his sketchbook and lays back in his hammock, and you can hear him scribbling away.
What a life. So I'm going to run back over to the party, or whoever of the party I can see. I'm going to say, we need to find a bathhouse. When we go to the storage place in the factories in the Red Ring.
Let's do that. Let's do that right now. I think we've got all the shopping in we can for the day. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying anything else. But the question is how to get there. We go back the way we came.
You guys are
Anybody
just
else want to buy anything else?
standing, still looks like visibly anyways to me, close to that stand where you got the sphere from. Other than Frederick, and the old crone there says, well, you're talking about the factory district."
Is that where the bathhouse is? Then yes.
Oh no, the bathhouses are going to be in the Red Ring that you're gonna want, I would guess, anyways. Especially if you can afford a sphere like that. But I thought you'd said factories. At least that's what my predictions had said. You would want to go there before
We do
going
need
into
to go visit a warehouse, which I guess is in the factory district.
the Red Ring. It would be well suited of you, anyways. You know, the factory district is quite filthy.
Yeah, then let's do that first.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to the edge of the bridge where you'd gotten up to the market district here, then you can easily catch one of the guards' attentions and they'll haul you a carriage. But, do know that in the factory district there isn't much food. And she looks up at the sky. And the market district is closed by sundown, and should be so by the way you get back unless you take a carriage both ways.
Shall we grab some
Alright.
food and head over to the factory district?
Yeah, we should stuff our faces.
How much does that backpack of holding carry, or is it just the same as a bag of holding?
What do you mean, how much does it carry?
Well, the weight capacity on a bag of holding is 500 pounds.
That's one bag of holding. You have 14 plus secret compartments, which, as they were doing that, he's explaining to you, he pulled you in close after the deal was struck and you had handed out the gold, and he's like, okay, well, each of these individual secret pockets you can easily hide any and all of your gold or valuables, if you will, in this one here, and he flips the backpack around to the side where it would be pressed up against your back, and he pushes right in the middle of that area, and out comes kind of a little key slot, and then he grabs from one of the lapels of the backpack itself that looks like just a ring. He pulls that ring out, and it's got a key on it, and he turns it and opens a void in there about 6 inches in diameter. This one is my particular favorite. It has the largest opening and is quite secretive, as you can see. And the other three are, and then he closes the key back into the slot and puts it back into the lapel slot, and then pulls the backpack around again, and in front are quite hidden in plain sight, so I'd suggest them more so for the utmost of hidden things. And he see this pocket here, and he unzips the smallest of the compartments in the front and sticks his hand in. Now, if you go down about here, and you see his foot go into that pocket up to where your wrist would be, and then just take your finger, spin it clockwise once, and from the front of it folds out these 3 little compartments that are about 1 inch in diameter, and that's where I usually try to hide my coins. And then he turns his finger clockwise inside of that same pouch, and they all 3 close, and he's hands it to you. So, and your question to how much it can capacity wise, and each of the 14 main compartments can hold 500. That's usually enough for most people to know that much. So I don't feel like doing the math. You can do that yourself.
Okay, thank you. That's an interesting trick you got there to open up those compartments.
Yeah, it took me quite a while to come up with that last one.
Always nice doing business with you.
Likewise, young lad. And the trunk comes up and salutes towards you. Anytime you're in the market for something of the sorts, remember the name Krillin.
I will. And I head back to the group, and I slowly just put everything into the new backpack. of holding.
A backpack of holding.
That's what it is.
I know. All of the stuff I come up with off the fly, so it's yeah. I just hadn't thought of it until you said it.
Is there a quick way to move stuff?
I don't know. That would be a good question for the party at whole.
I am unaware of a quick way to move things like that.
I found a semi-quick way. It's fine.
And the old crone says to you guys, I guess, well, if you're in the market for food, then you're probably just gonna want to head directly south to the giant crane. You can see over the top of the tents a crane that's slowly lumbering and pulling large crates up from below. It looks like at the southernmost points of the cliffs up to the market district's height.
All right, let's head towards that.
Dun, 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 dun. That's our travel music.
Amazing.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
So we all start heading towards the food area. Because I'm guessing we can just walk to it from where we are.
Yep. And you, as you do, you're getting closer to, you hear not only the sounds of a large crowd, but you also that of the whooshing of waves against cliff faces.
Oh.
And the pittering of a fountain that's softer and barely audible compared to all the other noises that you're hearing, and especially the smells that are assaulting your senses, with just a plethora of different everything from grilled meats to some sort of smoking, you're not sure, vegetables or nuts, and all variety of pleasant smells and or unpleasant smells, as the case may be for some of you, that are just permeating the air in that direction.
Is there anyone with any kind of cookies or sweet oat cakes?
You nearing the general clatter of people are seeing some stands with such that are in the area that you are. They do look baked at this day, but not within the hour.
That doesn't bother me. I eat worms. I'm fine with day old cookies.
A question for Cat, actually. So, Cat's a wizard that transformed into a chicken. Would you have the chicken's appetite, or would you have like a human's appetite?
Okay, so in my mind, I imagined having a chicken's appetite. So whenever we would stop to take a break, how everyone would like get out their rations or whatever meals they had like stored away in their backpacks, I'm just pecking around on the ground eating bugs. And I think I might have said that a couple of times when we took breaks, but I might not have. But that is how I imagined myself.
Okay, I was just curious because I'm like, well, you're a human, but you're transformed into a chicken, so wouldn't you be like, man, I could really go for a steak right now?
I mean,
Oh.
I
So I
have
was just
drank wine and ale.
I was just imagining a chicken fucking like going out of 6-piece.
With some barbecue sauce on the side.
Yeah. Just
I
everyone
mean-
like,
I can't remember what movie it was, but a movie I was watching with my mom. This lady adopted a chicken for some reason, and when she went to go visit her parents for a holiday, they had the chicken, like, because it was her pet now, in a kid's playpen, and it just the like main character's mom fed the chicken turkey, and it ate it.
well,
So
I
I
had a-
mean, I guess if they're hungry enough.
Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
had a goat that ate junior mints, so
Goats will eat fucking anything.
I know. I just thought it was weird. It liked pepperoni too.
I had a cat that liked pepperoni.
My sister used to have a dog that liked Twizzlers, and she would scream at me every time I gave her a Twizzler.
That's weird. Twizzlers aren't even appetizing to me, and I like just about everything. But yeah, as you rounded that corner, there was probably a stand there that a lady in an apron was with flour all over her, peddling cookies.
Did Mime leave us? Looks like it.
Looks like
I'm
yeah.
assuming that I'm still on Mime's shoulder, and I'm kind of like, "Hey, let's go check out the cookies." Because I don't want to keep freaking people out. Just being a talking chicken. And I just asked her to buy me like a dozen cookies, and I'll eat one now, but I'll put the rest in my bag or in my bag of holding.
Is anyone selling like kebabs?
Bob.
Not where you're at, Frederick, or along these stands, it seems like, but you do smell, like I'd said, some cooking meats and such. And it does seem to be coming from the more southerly direction from where you're at. And the lady says, "Oh, well, oh, so you said that to Mime. I see what you're saying now. Mime would have walked over and then asked the lady, and the lady would have said, "Well, yeah, I could part with that many cookies for a just six copper." That's right. That's what it is, right?
I don't have any coffee.
You just take out a gold out of your pack and hand it to Mime and ask for change.
I guess we hand over one gold. Should we get more cookies? Oh, yeah. Tell her to ask her how many cookies one gold would get us.
1 gold for you could buy well, and she just kind of looks off into the distance. You can tell she's counting oh jeez.
Baker's dozen?
You'd asked for how many cookies originally?
I'd originally asked for a dozen.
A dozen. Okay. So, and she'd said 6.
Yeah, I guess like one.
You could get like 200 cookies for that. I think I could. You could probably have what I have here.
How many cookies does she have on her cart?
I've got at least. I made it. Well, let's see here. Let's just roll. Oh, how many? Wait, okay. I didn't know how many
I'm
times.
sorry,
you
I'm making
rolled.
this difficult.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Oh, 242s. That's weird. Well, I've got about 300. I can give you 2 for this. Yeah. She's just looking very astonished.
I know
I don't
that
know
I
where you're
have.
gonna put them all, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just a lot of cookies to have.
I can hold them.
Do you want 200 cookies?
You just like put together your 2 shields upside down, Frederick. It's like 2 trays to hold.
Well, I was going to put it in my new backpack.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll take 24 of the cookies, and the rest can go in Frederick's backpack.
Can I have one?
What is it?
Can I have one?
A cookie?
Yes.
Oh, well, we're getting 200 cookies. Hold on, what did I just say? 24? So you get to have the rest. So you get 176 cookies.
All right. I'll eat one right now.
All right. Everybody gets a cookie.
Are you saying that literally? Because I'll hand out cookies right now. I just need to know how many I'm putting in my backpack.
I'm saying that like over the tour to our party. Like everyone can have a cookie. You get a cookie, and you get a cookie. Also, I'm looking in the inventory right now, and you can search containers to add containers. And there isn't a boat, but there is a cart and a carriage.
To add to your inventory?
If you go to manage inventory. Because, oh, there's more. But I was looking for a way to add, because now I have inventory on a Dune that I need to keep track of. Oh, hey, there's a longship and a keelboat, too. And a sailing ship.
Huh.
All right, I'm going to add that as a container and put a giant sphere.
That is interesting. I'm trying to decide what type of cookies these are.
I figured sweet oatcakes would just be good. But I mean, like, that's probably not all she made. She probably made a bunch of cookies.
Yeah, that's where my brain was kind of breaking for a second. It was like, oh, you overloaded the game. 300 cookies. What do I? It's like when you on Skyrim load, just like collect all the things in your own house and try to load into it.
It's just so full of so much stuff.
Yeah. Holiday cookie generator? What the fuck is this? Oh, these are crazy. But I mean, for now, they're cookies. I'll come up with a description for them later, before I burn down this rabbit hole. Although it is at that time.
The end of the night? Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, we'll just put cookies. We'll figure out the details later.
I was
Who's?
one. Go ahead.
Do I see anyone like selling like smoked meats?
Oh yes. If you want to make a note to yourself for next time, like I'd said, it was more so though the smell is coming from the crane direction.
Got it. All right. Well, good shopping session.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will
I love
continue on to next
shopping.
time when more people appear. I don't know. That might not happen or not, as it seems like we're at the people that usually we've got the people that will probably be usually here, chopped through. So it depends upon how fast you guys move next session.
Run out of the shopping center.
Also, make a note besides the smoked meats of going towards the factory district before anybody else gets out of the bottle. And then
Just
to the
don't let
bath.
that plate spin.
Well, I gotta get up in the morning, so good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
A grand and wonderful thank you for those who took the time and made it here, to the end of the episode, where I know sometimes we are long-winded and others we are just dead silent. I don't know what to tell you. This is raw here, folks. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you can help support us just by listening. But you can also provide even more support, if you like, by going to Anchor FM page and following the support link there. If you do so, I will personally work in an NPC or an idea, whatever you'd like to hear played out. If you want, you can get a hold of us through one of our many options, including voice messages on Anchor FM, or DM to our Twitter, or any other social media that you can find us, YouTube, etc. You can share your ideas, otherwise listen for the shout out and thank you for making it through.